Where does media content actually come from? It sounds like a basic question, but the origin of information, who gathered it, how it was verified, what institutional standards govern its publication matters enormously for its reliability as a guide to political reality. Let me distinguish the categories. Original reporting is journalism where reporters invest time and resources in gathering facts, checking them against multiple sources, and subjecting claims to rigorous scrutiny. This is the foundation on which quality journalism rests. Wire services, the Associated Press, Reuters, AFP, gather original reporting from journalists around the world and license it to subscribing news organizations, providing a relatively economical way for smaller outlets to cover events their own staff can't reach. Most news sites rely heavily on wire service content, particularly for international and national political news. Then there are media aggregators, channels that pick and choose from the reporting of others without adding original reporting of their own. At their best, aggregators curate high-quality reporting and help audiences navigate a large information landscape. At their worst, they disseminate stories without verifying their accuracy, amplify misinformation, and economically undercut the original reporting organizations whose work they republish without compensation. And the economic problem this creates is severe. The widespread practice of aggregation without compensation creates a free rider problem for journalism. The organizations that invest in original reporting bear the costs. Aggregators capture much of the audience and advertising revenue. This dynamic has contributed significantly to the collapse of local news. The decline of local newspapers and television stations has left hundreds of American communities with little professional journalism covering local government, courts, schools, and public affairs. Researchers now talk about news deserts, large portions of the country with no functioning local newsroom. Now, layered on top of these economic problems is a deliberate threat: information operations. Governments, corporations, political actors, and non-state organizations pursue their objectives by placing favorable narratives in the media, funding ostensibly independent news organizations, and using social media to amplify favorable content while suppressing unfavorable coverage. Russia's Internet Research Agency, which conducted a sophisticated social media influence campaign during the 2016 US presidential election, is the most extensively documented example of a foreign state weaponizing the media environment, but it is far from unique. The takeaway for you as a citizen: understanding the origin and motivation behind any piece of information has become an essential civic literacy skill in an environment where content is cheap to produce, distribute, and where the distinction between journalism, propaganda, and astroturf is systematically obscured. Don't just ask whether a claim is true, ask who is telling you this, why, and where they got it.